Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC10 Plus recap of the top stories this Thursday. A woman in court today accused of setting another woman on fire, the latest on the disturbing case. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us to San Diego County to check out an odd beach house at the bottom of a cliff. The ABC10 Plus recap starts now.
A woman accused of setting a homeless woman on fire appeared before a Sacramento judge today.
Yeah, investigators say Jacqueline Popa Ibarra used accelerant when she set fire to a woman sleeping on Stockton Boulevard last month. ABC10's Devin Truby was in court today and spoke to a friend of the suspect.
Do I have Jacqueline Popa Ibarra?
Yes. In a Sacramento County courtroom on Thursday, Jacqueline Popa Ibarra appeared for the first time before a judge, dressed in an orange jumpsuit, pants, and striped shirt. The 34-year-old, accused of setting a homeless woman on fire, pled not guilty to attempted murder, aggravated mayhem, assault, and a separate robbery charge.
She was apparently acquaintances with one of the individuals in that camp and knew the victim, but hadn't really had much interaction. And we're still not sure what kind of really precipitated this event.
Investigators say it happened here at a homeless encampment near 17th Avenue and Stockton Boulevard on April 26th. The incident caught on camera. Detectives say the video shows Popa Ibarra getting out of her car, confronting the victim, then throwing a fire accelerant on the woman, followed by a flash of flames. The victim suffered burns on a third of her body. She just awoke Tuesday in the hospital to identify Popa Ibarra. Outside of court, ABC10 spoke with a friend of Popa Ibarra who declined to go on camera. She said Popa Ibarra frequently did outreach to the homeless community and is now receiving threats due to the allegations. Popa Ibarra pled not guilty in both cases. No bail was set. The next hearing is May 28th. Reporting in Sacramento, Devin Truby, ABC 10.
Devin, thank you. New tonight, families in Newman are being forced to move their loved ones from a care location they've called home for years.
Families and staff members say they've been getting mixed signals from state officials about a possible closure. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the story tonight.
In boxes and bags, belongings are being moved out Thursday of Golden Age Living, a Stanislaus County assisted living facility with locations in Turlock and Newman and at least 11 elderly residents.
It's sad.
Residents like Chris Ashbaugh and Jim Black's 96-year-old mom.
We had a meeting over the phone with the state of California on Monday night, and they informed us that we didn't have a time frame.
A time frame for a closure of the facility, family and staff members say.
Because there's no licensed person here, it's a liability. That was their reasoning.
According to state records, the facilities are licensed to Kelsey Ramos, the missing Turlock mother found dead last week in Selma.
I know our licensee is gone, and my heart goes out to everyone involved, but we also lost somebody. And the thing is, all of us who did the day-to-day, we're still here. You know, we're not leaving until the last person moves.
The state's Department of Social Services, which oversees licensing and regulations for assisted living facilities, says they spoke with the Ramos family, who told them they would like to close the facility.
Then on Wednesday, yesterday, we were notified that we had to be out by Friday.
Now the state says that it plans to put a temporary manager in place to handle operations for 60 to 90 more days. But for some, belongings are being boxed up now.
You're moving around 95 and 96-year-old women with dementia and hospice, and we're looking out for our loved ones. We don't want anything to happen to them.
In Newman, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Tonight, groups are also opposing Governor Newsom's funding for the controversial Delta Conveyance Project, also known as the Delta Tunnel. The governor is proposing changes to ensure the project is completed. I want to go ahead and bring in ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen, who is here to break everything down for us. Jeannie, what can you tell us?
Alex, this project has been heavily criticized and the state has been sued multiple times. The governor is hoping to make this process more streamlined in order to complete this project, but those who oppose say the governor is wasting the state's time and money.
With the Delta Conveyance Project, which is in this budget and one of the most important projects in the United States of America and one of the most important climate adaptation projects in this country.
The Delta Conveyance Project is one of the state's most controversial projects, and on Wednesday, Governor Gavin Newsom reiterated his support for it in his Budget May Revise announcement.
We have got to move that project forward.
The state wants to build one 45-mile tunnel under the delta to reroute water. It's estimated to cost $20.1 billion. In the governor's proposed budget, he recommends streamlining the process by making the permit process easier, allowing the Department of Water Resources to have authority over funding, and making it easier to get through delays caused by lawsuits.
And appropriately using the the California budget process to push forward and make policy changes that will have detrimental impacts on Delta communities and the environment.
Restore the Delta is a Stockton-based organization that has opposed the project for years and has active lawsuits against the state. The organization says the governor is ignoring how this would impact wildlife, conservation, and native tribes.
It's also writing a blank check to the Department of Water Resources to fund the construction of the Delta Conveyance Project, despite recent lawsuits.
On Thursday, lawmakers within the state's Delta caucus sent this letter to the Assembly and Senate, urging them to reject Newsom's proposal, saying it's, quote, costly and destructive.
I'm pretty angry. This is yet another attempt to railroad Stockton and the Central Valley.
Congressman Josh Harder, who represents portions of the San Joaquin Valley, agrees with state lawmakers, saying it will only waste the state's money, especially when we're currently facing a deficit.
This more than $20 billion boondoggle will not create a single gallon of new water for anybody.
And the Department of Water Resources tells me the governor's proposal would save billions of dollars by avoiding delays, and that the project would be funded solely by local public water agencies, not the state's general fund. Alex.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much. And we have streamed Governor Newsom's full budget announcement yesterday. You can watch it now on the ABC10 Plus TV streaming app, and that app is free to download to your TV. The To The Point team went behind the gates of Folsom State Prison, not to talk about punishment, but possibility. One program is helping inmates grow from the inside out with classes, community service, and a focus on character that's changing lives behind bars. Folsom State Prison. Though it's California's second oldest institution, there's a new sense of hope.
Thank you, Jesus.
Behind the walls and inside rooms like this,
That became my true freedom.
ABC10 got a rare look at inmates on a personal journey to rebuild themselves.
I started the Men of Character along with a dear friend of mine that was once a rival gang member.
The group Men of Character gives inmates a chance to rewrite their future with a simple but powerful question. How can we give back to the same community we once helped tear down? Established in 2019, the Men of Character connect with outside organizations, reaching those in need, from food drives to helping unhoused neighbors and providing backpacks for students.
It feels good to be able to help. For a long time, I spent not being that way.
The program holds meetings to discuss their lived experience, increase self-awareness, and address issues like
the unhealthy ways we deal with it, the toxic masculinity that our society perpetuates.
In these classes, we can hear stories of individuals that are on the same path. That has restored hope. And those are a lot of the things that we like to actually send out as a message in our workshops, is that you can actually find the hope in yourself.
And how to break down walls.
Being in prison for 12 years, I've never had relationships with outside of my race.
Prison is so segregated, just to be able to break those boundaries down is a powerful thing.
Through mentorship, outreach, and partnerships with local organizations, Men of Character became more than a program. It became a path to redemption.
It's really helped me to want to be a better person and want to give back. It feels good to have people look up to you and to, you know, have people be inspired.
That redemption on display as Men of Character members graduated from the program in February. By helping others, this group says they found a way to work on themselves. Perhaps the most important key they needed to unlocking their future potential was
restoring hope. You come in here with no hope, especially for those that don't see that they will ever get out. When you restore hope, you see guys actually doing more.
This program for me has made me hopeful about what happens getting out of here and even the culture inside of this place.
With the belief that change is possible.
In this class, it's called the ripple effect, right? We had to understand that the ripple effect of our crime had affected not just our primary victims, but a lot of secondary victims. I have to change that ripple effect. So by living morally correct, I can honor my family, honor my community. So that's my hope.
The men of character realizing they can't change their past.
I'm on my 30th year. I was incarcerated in '94 to a life sentence.
I've been incarcerated coming up on 10 years. I'm serving 29 to life for taking somebody's life, in which still is not enough time.
I've been in prison for 15 years already. I'm doing 30 years for voluntary manslaughter and attempted murder. I am in here for murdering an innocent man.
I've been incarcerated for 12 years now. I was sentenced to 2 counts of assault with a firearm.
I've been incarcerated 9 years. I'm serving a life sentence, 25 years of life.
I've been incarcerated for 8 years, a string of robberies, armed robberies.
While some are eligible for parole and others may never leave, they can make the decision to make tomorrow a better day.
I need to work on myself to make sure that I never hurt anybody else in any way.
Being given an opportunity to actually make a positive change inside of my community through the men of character, through their guidance, through their mentorship, it really gave me hope to make that positive change.
Once you make those wrong choices, there are some actions you can't take back. I don't want to ever be put in a situation where my actions not only damages someone else's life, but my own as well.
This Old Folsom is actually where I have discovered myself. It has taken a long journey, a painstaking journey, but I am here.
Men of character members currently receive no formal credit for their participation. Their motivation is to grow, heal, and become better men.
We'll talk about a big case before the Supreme Court today, marking the first time they are publicly considering an appeal directly from President Trump in his second term.
It involves the scope of U.S. citizenship. It also addresses the legality of individual federal judges blocking a presidential policy nationwide. Olivia Rubin has the details.
Today, the Supreme Court weighing one of the most consequential legal questions of the Trump presidency. Can President Trump revoke the right to birthright citizenship?
So as far as I see it, this order violates 4 Supreme Court precedents.
President Trump signing an order to revoke birthright citizenship on his first day in office, part of his broader immigration crackdown.
We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous.
But the right to birthright citizenship enshrined in the Constitution. The 14th Amendment saying anyone born in the United States is a citizen, regardless of the legal status of their parents. Absolutely. Trump's order facing an immediate block by several lower courts. That question now also before the Supreme Court. Do local district judges have the authority to implement nationwide injunctions?
They operate asymmetrically, forcing the government to win everywhere while the plaintiffs can win anywhere.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson pushing back harshly.
Your argument seems to turn our justice system, in my view at least, into a catch-me-if-you-can kind of regime from the standpoint of the executive, where everybody has to have a lawyer and file a lawsuit in order for the government to stop violating people's rights.
But conservative Justice Clarence Thomas leaning the other way, suggesting that limiting the power of local judges may be on the table.
So we survived until the 1960s without universal injunction.
Outside of court, the groups challenging Trump still appearing optimistic and warning of the stakes.
If they can dismantle the 14th Amendment in our Constitution, they can also dismantle the other rights and privileges afforded our residents. First Amendment, Second Amendment, you name it.
It's extremely rare for the Supreme Court to even hold oral arguments this late into the calendar. The High Court could now issue a ruling as soon as next month. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Olivia, thank you. Let's turn now to a warning from Walmart today. They plan to start increasing prices at the end of the month. The company is blaming the price increase on President Trump's tariffs. The Walmart CEO said today they will do their best to keep prices as low as possible, but even with the reduced tariff levels, they're not able to absorb all the pressure given the reality of the retail margins.
Even Walmart saying, look, even given our pricing power, we cannot absorb all the costs of these higher tariffs. An example for you, bananas, one of the biggest sellers at Walmart. They recently raised prices to 54 cents a pound, up from 50 cents a pound.
The Federal Reserve Chair suggested today we are entering a time of economic uncertainty and said that we need to develop policies to adapt to that. Meanwhile, I do want to change gears because I know folks are starting to think about the weekend, and we've had kind of a roller coaster of temperatures. So I guess the question is, what can we expect this weekend, huh?
Right. This is really a time of year when people are itching to get out there and enjoy Mother Nature. Is she cooperating?
Well, you know what's interesting? We're going to have another wind event again over the weekend. This is going to be the third weekend in a row, if you're counting.
Yeah.
I think we are at this point, right? All right, here's how things are going to unfold as we head into the end of the work week and into the weekend. We have another weather system on the move, and this one's impacting parts of the Pacific Northwest. We're going to be brushed with some of these clouds overnight tonight. So just an increase in cloud cover for this evening. No rain showers to contend with here. Temperature starting off in the mid to upper 50s. We're on our way back to the mid 80s for tomorrow. Right now, we're at 84 degrees for Sacramento, Stockton 87, with Modesto checking in at 84. Marysville, we're at 83, with Tahoe at 59 with sunny skies. That's a location that's expecting showers this weekend. Highs for today up and down the valley in the 80s, 70 for San Francisco, with 70s in the foothills and 60s up top for the Sierra. So we're kind of in that transition zone, trying to figure out, are we winter, are we spring, are we summer? We're kind of getting everything here lately. Tomorrow's weather for our Friday forecast, starting the day off with that cloud cover. It thins out throughout the afternoon. Most of the day is spent in the 70s and lower 80s. It's not until the late afternoon that we get that bump in those afternoon temperatures into the mid to upper 80s for much of the valley. And then we'll start to transition back to some cooler weather for the beginning of the weekend. Tomorrow, as that first weather system pulls off to the east, just a few showers for the higher elevations. And then we're tracking a more organized weather system that brings more widespread rain throughout the Sierra. A little brief dusting of snow overnight Saturday into early Sunday. But here's the critical setup. Once that low moves off to the east, we've got that storm track that's going to be trying to pull up to the north here as this high approaches. That's where we get into the dangerous category with our winds starting to accelerate. So it's our Sunday forecast where we start to see those winds come up, humidity come down. That's going to be those northwest winds that really dry things out. And anybody that's been driving around right now, you've seen those grasses really starting to dry out quite quickly. So that's going to be where the biggest risk of that fire danger will remain through Monday. So it's Sunday through Monday with the dry, gusty winds. We'll see humidity very low, below 1,000 feet. So if you're up in the higher foothills, the Sierra, these aren't big wildland fires that we're worried about. Again, this is going to be low elevation risk all the way out towards the Carquinez Strait and towards the Delta as well. So just kind of looking at the valley and over towards the Delta for this higher fire danger. Tomorrow's forecast, we're still dry and mild for the higher elevations in the 60s, 70s and 80s down low. Then we start digging into some of that heat here as we move into the lower elevations. 60s along the coast, still quite mild, and then we move inland. Fairfield, Vacaville, Rio Vista, all hitting the 80s, and we see widespread 80s throughout the valley. Even a couple of 90s out there, including Colusa at 91, awfully close to 90 for Yuba City. 80s throughout the rest of the valley after those morning lows in the 50s. And again, we start off with cloud cover, but that clears throughout the afternoon. Showers develop for Saturday in the Sierra, clear by Sunday as we start to head into the lower elevations. For the lower foothills, we'll see that elevated fire danger. The coast is still an onshore flow, and then that starts to shut down and the heat will start to develop. So our weather impact alert starts up on Sunday. It's not so much in the way of rain. Those are the alerts that we talk about so much during the previous couple of months, but now we turn our attention very quickly to fire danger. You know, it's that time of year we got to pivot really quickly to readjust, recalibrate. Fire danger is knocking on the door.
I know a lot of people say, well, we had a lot of rain, it seems like, but we do have a lot of fuels that have grown because of that rain, right?
That's a good point, yeah.
Okay, Monica, thank you.
Just north of San Diego, there's an out-of-this-world structure resting at the bottom of a seaside cliff. No, it's not a flying saucer. It's what's left of an extravagant beach house. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at the Mushroom House in La Jolla. Getting to the Mushroom House requires a little bit of a hike. First, you must walk the half-mile down the steep Black Beach trailhead. Then once you reach the coast, it's a 3/4 mile trek along some avalanche-prone cliffs. Hey, there it is. By no means is the Mushroom House a secret. It's not uncommon to see beachgoers sunbathing or playing a game of football in front of it. The place is also covered in graffiti.
This gate doesn't seem like it's doing much good.
What is a bit of a secret is how this seemingly abandoned structure ended up here.
This is the tram that goes down from the main house.
To shed some light on who built the house, I asked La Jolla historian Carol Olton.
It was commissioned by Sam Bell.
Bell brand potato chips.
Sam Bell was the heir to the General Mills fortune and created Bell brand potato chips. After building his cliffside house over Black's Beach in the 1950s, he commissioned well-known architect Dale Nagel to build an eye-catching beach bungalow in 1968.
A mushroom house was designed during the heyday of the space age, as we call it.
Influenced by the space race of the 1960s, Nagel designed the beach house to be built out of concrete, but before building could start, a cliffside elevator of sorts had to be built, which was a bit dangerous.
The cliffs are not very stable. They're sandstone cliffs, and chunks of them fall off.
The construction on Black's Beach was a bit controversial, but not as controversial as what else was happening on Black's Beach at the time.
Black's Beach became, I think, the very first nude beach in California.
A nude beach.
A nude beach.
When completed, the Mushroom House offered some jaw-dropping views, which were enjoyed by Mr. Bell for many years until he sold the property.
A philanthropist named Buzz Woolley bought the place.
Unfortunately, the new owners, who are very private, have had some problems with the Mushroom House. Back in 2020, a part of the bluff collapsed and damaged the tramway. Now, it's unclear what the future holds for the unique structure.
From the Mushroom House in La Jolla, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back rows.
So as we mentioned earlier in the newscast, Disneyland having a big birthday celebration, number 70.
That's right. The festivities at the happiest place on earth set to begin tomorrow. And ABC10's Marcus Allen has been out live all morning long at Disneyland with what you can expect from the celebration. Hey, Mark.
Hey, this is magnificent. 70 years of Disneyland, that groundbreaking ceremony, or more importantly, the ribbon cutting that took place, on this day, more or less 70 years ago, give or take a day or two. Walt Disney said to all who come to this happy place, welcome. And we still feel welcome today. Pardon me for a moment, because I can't just stop looking at it. This is amazing technology. Roughly a little bit newer than the ones we use at ABC10, but still very, very nice gear. I love it. I want to tell you more about the celebration, but I don't know as much as this person knows. Jada, thanks for hanging out with me so much.
Thanks, Mark.
This camera, so much to celebrate. So many things that were original are here today. Like, I geek out about this camera, but think about everything in our eyesight that was here as well.
It's true. I mean, like you said, we are steps away, feet away from when Walt Disney himself gave that original opening day speech where he said, like you said, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. And look at where we are now. What once started as a dream, an idea of a place to bring people together, families and children alike, now it is a cultural icon. It has shaped storytelling and the entertainment industry as a whole, and we're really grateful that we get to celebrate 70 years of happiness.
You work here, this is your job, but with that said, when you walk through the gates and you look down there, does it make you feel the same as when you were 7?
I think every day. It's nostalgic. It helps me think about the past of where we've been. It also excites me for what's to come here at Disneyland Resort and beyond. We're really grateful that we get to celebrate the past 7 decades, and we're excited to see what's to come.
And we're not just celebrating one day. This celebration takes place all year long. And what are the highlights? What do we look for as guests?
That's right. Well, the 70th celebration is all about celebrating happy, so that's what we're going to get to do. We're going to get to celebrate happy with entertainment, merchandise, decor, but really, we're really excited just to talk about where we all came from. Like we said, we're steps away from where it all started, and we're really grateful for what it's become.
Do you have a favorite ride? I mean,
you
got 1 minute in the park to kill. What are you going to go do?
Right now, we encourage you to come right now and see It's a Small World, because there's some really exciting things. We talk about nostalgia. There's so much to see from the past. You feel like a child again. But coming with the celebration, we have some more excitement to see with that as well.
Back in the day, would It's a Wonderful Life had been an e-ticket or D-ticket? Do you know?
Gosh, I know. E-ticket, D-ticket. Well, now it's all just one amazing place. It's all happy, so we love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it back, but book back. I'm down to just 1 tickets. So, Jordan, I'm going to give you an E ticket. Walt, depending on how nice you're going to be, you're somewhere between an A and a D. We'll figure that out when we get back home. Have I left any stones unturned? Anything you want to know?
Well, I don't want to be nice. No, this is amazing.
Then it's an A ticket for you.
Yeah, no, this whole thing brings back so many memories because, you know, it's a small world as a small child. That always stays with you. Some of these Disney rides are just epic, right?
My first day in California, 1985, I'm at a teen club that had only opened a week before called Videopolis. And do you want to see how I danced? You're not going to. They're telling us wrap it up. You can't see, but like 600 handlers from Disney said, hope he doesn't, please don't let him dance. Jada, you deserve better. Thanks so much for hanging out with me.
Thanks for watching this ABC 10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.